Picture this. You're at a swanky party, the kind of party where everyone's trying to one-up each other with their life stories. A doctor says, "The other day I was arm deep in a patient's chest trying to revive his heart. No big deal." Only to be interrupted by an off-duty police officer who said, "Well, I was shot 3 times in the chest last week." You're sitting there sipping on your drink when you suddenly decide to break your silence and you say, "Well, I was hit by a projectile that came from outer space last week." The room goes silent. Eyes widen as you pull up your shirt to reveal a bruise the size of Texas on your side. Your name, Ann Elizabeth Fowler Hodges. And you're officially the first person in recorded history not only to be hit by a meteorite, but survive a hit from a meteorite. That's right, being hit by a meteorite has a 100% survival rating. Congratulations. Dinosaurs, it may be a different story. Hello, my fellow weirdos. Welcome back to my channel where we dive deep into the weirdest stories you've ever heard. Today's tale comes straight out of my home state, Alabama, and let me tell you, it's a doozy. Our story kicks off with an everyday average human being, Anna Elizabeth Fowler Hodges. Why 4 names? Is it really 4 names? Yeah, 4 names. Look at that. Anna Elizabeth Fowler Hodges. Dadgum. 4 names. Born on February 2nd, 1920, she was as Alabama as sweet tea in college football. Living a quiet life in Sylacauga, Alabama with her husband and her mother, she was as average as it comes. She was the perfect epitome of the 1950s homemaker. That is, until the incident of November 30th, 1954. It was a lazy Tuesday afternoon. Hodges was asleep on her couch. Daggum, I have to work for a living. I wish I could be asleep on a Tuesday afternoon. Why is she home on a Tuesday afternoon sleeping? You know what? I'm glad she got hit by the meteor. Kidding. Sort of. Well, she is peacefully dreaming on her couch, dreaming of whatever people in the 1950s dreamt about. I don't know. The Depression? Did that happen in the 50s? A 7-inch meteor decides to crash the party, literally coming crashing through her ceiling. Now, if it were me, I would have slept through the whole thing. I really would have. I don't take naps often, but when I take naps, I take a nap. I'm like a drunk hibernating bear who just took Benadryl. You would not be able to wake me up. I would wake up the next morning with a giant bruise on my side and be like, well, I'm almost 30. I guess I just slept wrong, hazard of an aging body. The space rock wasn't just any space rock. This thing was about the size of a grapefruit. The meteorite weighed 8.5 pounds and was traveling at about 200 to 250 miles an hour. That's enough to knock any person down, I don't care who you are, but not Ann. Now, most of us probably would have been down and out for the count, but Ann, looking like she just went 5 rounds with Mike Tyson, got away with just a bruise on her side. So word gets out that Ann almost got KO'd by a space rock, and suddenly everyone wanted a piece of the meteorite, that is. Now, if I got hit by a flying rock from outer space, I would think it was well within my right to want to keep that space rock. I would be using it as proof that God wanted me dead, and I said no. But here's the catch. The Hodges were only renting their house in Sylacauga from a lady named Birdie. Birdie Guy to be exact. And Birdie, being the original Karen and the technical owner of the Hodges house, she thought the rock belonged to her. So naturally, they take this to court. Birdie initially wins because, the law loves to screw with people sometimes. But after the media gets involved, public opinion shifts, and Birdie decides to sell it back to the Hodges for $500, which is the equivalent to about a couple $1,000 to today's standard, which isn't too shabby for a space rock. So the Hodges now own the meteorite. And what do? They try and sell it. I would have some weird emotional attachment to this rock. I would be like, this rock chose me. Unfortunately for them, the hype of the rock died down and it became rather hard for them to find a buyer for the rock. They eventually donated it to the Alabama Museum of Natural History, where it chills to this very day. That's right, if you want to see the rock that space tried to kill poor Ann with, it's there. You can go see it. Totally free. Bet you didn't wish you spent 500 smackers on something that was rightfully yours. Actually, serves you right for trying to sell it, you sellout. So there you have it, folks. The only person to survive a meteorite strike. Take that, dinosaurs. Humans are 1-0 and y'all are 0-1 in your lizard face. But if you enjoyed this look into weird history, I would be very appreciative if you hit that like button and the subscribe button to see more weird history videos like this. But until then, get the heck out of my house.